Welcome back. In our spotlight this morning, we're talking about former Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines. He's accused of fatally shooting Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers last September. Video of the incident shows Stines and Mullins talking. They've just gone to lunch together. Right before this happens, Stines pulls out a gun and shoots the judge. And just days before the shooting, Stines was deposed for a lawsuit involving a sex scandal involving a former bailiff. At a court hearing on Friday, Stines' attorney asked that his client be released on bond.
I would ask the court, again, without waiving anything, I would ask the court to consider setting a bond. The court, of course, can do that at any time. And that would be our requested bond, the $50,000 cash or property. Mr. Stines was a member of this community for his entire life, born and raised here. He has a great deal of family support through all of this, as the court can see. He has a wife and daughter that he can still go home to today. He was a member of law enforcement for basically his entire adult life, up until the point of his arrest. He's a respected member of law enforcement, a respected member of the community, and frankly, Judge, everything we've learned about him since then corroborates that. And I would have testimony to that effect. There's no evidence that he would be a flight risk. Nothing.
Stines' lawyers also filed a motion to unseal the former sheriff's psychological evaluation, saying that the results of the test will help the court understand the relevant facts. They've said they plan to use an insanity defense if this case goes to trial. So what can be contained in that psychological evaluation that the defense team wants to be put out there so badly? Let's talk about it. Let's bring in forensic psychiatrist Dr. Carol Lieberman. All right, Dr. Carol, let me begin with you here, please. What do you think might be inside of this psychological evaluation that the defense team wants unsealed?
Well, I watched 2 hours of videotape of the sheriff right after he killed the judge. And in those hours, he was clearly paranoid, almost psychotically so. I would say psychotically so. He was looking around, seemed like he had hallucinations. He was terrified that they were going to shoot him. He kept saying that, "Don't shoot me." He kept asking them to make sure you have the body cameras on. I want this, like he wanted a record of it. And he was that way for at least 2 hours when they were driving him to the jail. So I think he has a good chance at an insanity defense, but it's a little surprising that they're asking for a bond. Now, I know that this is a very special case, that he's a sheriff, everybody knows him there and all that, but I don't think, I've done a lot of these cases, and I don't think it would make a very good impression on the jury to think that, okay, he was insane at that time. Now, a lot of time has gone by, but now he's okay enough to be out in the community. I just don't think that makes a very good presentation, very convincing presentation about his insanity in the first place.
That's a really great point, Dr. Carroll. Really appreciate that. And I find it so fascinating that you, as a trained clinician, somebody who has done so many evaluations throughout your career, looking at that video, you have those observations thinking that, oh boy, something was very wrong at the time of this incident. What do you think would be the most effective things for this defense team to be doing if they do want to mount that insanity defense, as they're saying? What more can they do now, perhaps with someone like yourself?
Well, presumably they made some reference to these, to having had a psych evaluation that's sealed or something like that in the bond hearing. I watched that. The question is, what is he suffering from now? He was paranoid, certainly, and it seemed psychotic. But that could be caused by something long-term, like schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia. Or it could be caused by something just on that day, like he took some drugs that made him paranoid. So if they're asking for him to be released on bond, presumably they are planning to say, or they have information to say, that it was just a temporary kind of thing. Because otherwise, if he's paranoid schizophrenic, technically he should be in a hospital right now, being treated. And it's interesting because he looks different at the bond hearing than he looked after he was arrested. He's much quieter. I saw him walk in and he was shuffling. I mean, it almost seems like he's on some kind of antipsychotic medication now. So the key is what the diagnosis is. And sure, maybe he wouldn't be a flight risk, but could he be a danger to the community?
Great points. Excellent insight from you both. We've got to leave it there for now. We'll report any updates on that bond. Dr. Carol Lieberman, we have to let you go. Thank you so much.